Hi everyone, in this lesson I'm going to show you some incredibly useful shortcuts in Blender's Sculpt mode. Of course, Blender is famous for the shortcuts that it has for almost any task. I'm going to cover as many shortcuts as I can, and this lesson is not about teaching you how to sculpt. You probably know how to sculpt, or you're just learning maybe. But knowing some of these shortcuts will simply take your sculpting skills to the next level. So let's get started. Even before we learn some default shortcuts, I'm going to show you how to set up your own shortcuts. In Blender it's dead easy. You can simply hover over some of the properties here, most properties I would say, and right click and simply assign a shortcut. But be careful, this might override or conflict with default shortcuts, but what you can do is this. You can add this to quick favorites, so simply add it to quick favorites. And you can bring up quick favorites by simply pressing Q. And I have a few things in my quick favorites, as you can see. You can show overlays, you can hide overlays now. So the overlays menu is in your quick favorites menu. And quick favorites menu is separate for different working modes. For sculpt mode, you can see I have these quick favorites. And for example, in object mode, I don't have any of them. Now we can start with some default shortcuts in Blender sculpting mode. Let's start with some general ones. You have this brush that you can use to sculpt something, right? And here you can change its strength and the radius, right? Let's increase the radius so that you can see what is going on, right? You can change these properties by pressing F for the radius, Shift F for the strength. These are the most common ones and you probably already know that. But you can press Ctrl F to rotate the brush, and it's particularly useful when you're using a texture. For this simple brush it is not very useful, as you can see, but when you're using a texture you definitely need this. And another thing, for many brushes, holding down Ctrl while drawing or sculpting simply inverts the effect, as you can see. So hold down Ctrl to invert the effect of the brush. And holding down Shift can smooth things out. Let's hold down Shift, for example, here, and smooth things out. I hope you can see the shortcuts right here. If you can't, I simply close this. And this brush drawer thing brings us to the next shortcut. I personally never use it. You can find the brushes here, you can find them here, but I mostly use Shift plus spacebar to bring up the brush menu. So remember, Shift plus spacebar. You can see it here. And another thing you can do while you're sculpting is to press Shift plus S to turn on Stylized stroke. Shift S again to disable that. You can turn on Stylized stroke in tool properties right here. Go to stroke, and here you have Stylized stroke. By pressing Shift S, you can turn this on or off, as you can see. Now let's quickly smooth things out by coming here to Sculpt, selecting the Smooth option, left click and move your cursor from left to right, and you smooth things out this way. It's actually a filter brush, mesh filter, you can find it here. Well, another very useful shortcut applies to multiple objects. When you have multiple objects, Ctrl A and apply the scale. Actually, you need to apply the scale of the objects when you're sculpting for consistent results. So let's go to sculpting. Let's say you're working with multiple objects and you want to sculpt all of them. While you can't sculpt all of them at the same time, you can easily switch between objects by pressing Alt Q. And you have this nice highlight going on, Alt Q, as you can see. Currently, we're using only one brush, but you have lots of brushes here, and you can right click and assign a shortcut or add to quick favorites if you need. But some brushes, especially the most commonly used ones, have default shortcuts. For example, the default draw brush is V. By pressing V, you can switch to default draw brush. So it's V, you can see it here. You can press S for smooth brush and smooth things out. You can press G, which I love. This is the grab brush. I use it all the time. You can press C for clay strips. It's also another commonly used brush. And the next brush with a shortcut is Inflate brush. By pressing I, you can change the brush to inflate and deflate. You can inflate, you can hold down Control to deflate the mesh, and you have these artifacts. You can remove these artifacts by holding down Shift and smoothing things out, as you can see. Another really cool brush and very commonly used one is Snake Hook. You can press K to activate that. Snake Hook, a really nice brush. We also have another very common brush which is called the Crease brush. Now it's actually called Crease Polish. To activate that, you should press Shift plus C. Shift C, not Shift S. So this is Crease brush. Well, currently these brushes have default shortcuts, but you can assign your own shortcuts to different brushes, or you can add them to quick favorites if you use them a lot. Now, there are some other tools here. For example, let's say hide tool, right? You can hide. And these are actually called gesture tools. For them, there is an interesting option. You can, while drawing the box or, I don't know, polygon, or lasso, you can hold down spacebar to move the selection. And you can always press Alt-H to unhide everything. So H is a very popular shortcut in Blender. You can press H to hide everything or anything that you have selected. Alt-H to unhide everything. Shift-H to hide other things and keep the active selection visible. And something you can do here is to paint a face set like that and press H to hide this part, only the face set. If you cannot see it very well, we can turn on cavity here and you can see it much better, maybe both, right? Alt H, or you can press Shift H to only leave this part and hide everything else. And when you paint like that, only this area is affected. You can see it when you press Alt H and nothing else is affected. You can get rid of this face set by pressing Alt W and face set from visible. Make the brush larger, hold down Shift to smooth things out. You can actually create new face sets by pressing Shift W and extending a face set like that. But this creates circular face sets. So face sets are kind of interesting way to mask parts of the geometry. Speaking of masks, there are a lot of options with masks. You actually have a mask tool. You can activate that by pressing M and you can paint a mask. There are a lot of shortcuts for masks. Let me get rid of the face sets. Alt W, face set from visible to get rid of face sets. Now masking does what it says. When you mask, you cannot touch this area. You can, but nothing happens. You mask this part out. You can press Ctrl I to invert the mask. You can press Alt M to clear the mask. Remember, M is the mask tool. Let's press M again. Alt M to clear the mask. So let me show one thing. You can paint the mask and by holding down Ctrl, you can erase the mask. By holding down Shift, you can smooth the mask. These are incredibly useful modifiers for these shortcuts. So let's get rid of this mask. You can press Alt M, of course. And the mask tool has its own pie menu. You can press A to bring up this mask menu. You can clear the mask this way, for example. You also have the mask tool. Instead of this mask brush, you can use the box mask or other masking options here. So box mask, you can hold down Ctrl to erase the box mask. To activate the box mask temporarily, you can press B and mask this area. So again, M for mask tool, B for box mask, Alt M to clear the mask, Ctrl I to invert the mask. You can paint the mask and hold down Ctrl to erase, hold down Shift to smoothen it, and you can also press A to bring up this mask menu. And the last thing I'd like to talk about is dynamic topology. I think I added this to my quick favorites. You can press Q and turn on dynamic topology. I hope you know what this does. It creates the topology dynamically. We can demonstrate that by using the snake hook tool. For example, snake hook K, you can press K for snake hook. And here, as you can see, the topology simply breaks because you don't have enough geometry to create this shape. In order to create geometry on the fly, you need to enable dynamic topology. You can press Q if you add it to quick favorites, or you can turn this on from here. And now I can create whatever I want. And here you can see the dynamic topology has lower polygon count, as you can see here. It's not very high poly. You can change the density or resolution of the polygons of dynamic topology by pressing R. And you can see here it's somewhere visible, like here for example, F. No, not F, R. Hopefully you can see how the resolution changes. I'm changing the resolution of dynamic topology. Let's make it smaller so that we can work with many polygons. The geometry is created on the fly when using dynamic topology and the snake hook tool. Now, another interesting thing. Let's press R and make the polygons much larger, just like that, and draw with maybe draw brush, just like that, right? Now this mesh has two levels of polygons. Some areas are using very high poly geometry, and this area is very low poly, right? What you can do with dynamic topology is you can fill the entire mesh with the same topology level, I mean the same density level. For that you can decide the density by pressing R again. For example, this resolution is enough for you. Yeah, let's say R again, this resolution, right? And you can press Ctrl R now to fill the entire mesh with that resolution. And I hope it worked. No, it didn't. I think for that we need to change the detailing to constant detail maybe. Press R again, change the resolution, and Ctrl R. Yeah, now it worked. As you can see, the entire mesh is the same level of detail now. And finally, R and Ctrl R are not exclusive to dynamic topology. You can use them even without dynamic topology turned on. Then R defines the resolution for voxel remesher. Voxel remesher also remeshes the objects by using the voxels, and you decide the size of the voxel by pressing R. So for example, I'm happy with this resolution. I press left click, and now I can press Ctrl R to voxel remesh the entire mesh. So that was all that I wanted to show you. By the way, if you're interested in sculpting or especially in character creation, you can check out our character creation course. The links are below. In that course, you will create this character. From scratch. You will sculpt, retopologize, UV unwrap, texture, rig, pose, and produce a final render. So go ahead and check our course. But if you're completely new to Blender, don't worry, we have a beginner's course too. You can check out by following the links below. So if you're interested, please do us a little favor and check our course. Thank you.